Chris and Sis.
What's up, y'all? Back for another one. And today we want to discuss accountability a little bit, which is a pretty big topic. It's not something I feel like is talked about near enough. And it's taking accountability for your own actions, admitting your wrongs, admitting your faults, and learning from all those things and making yourself a better person.
It's also very difficult to figure out.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's become a big part of my adult life is not being afraid to say, yeah, you were right, I was wrong, and thank you on top of it, is a big part of it. Being grateful for the lessons that we've learned and taking all that in stride, becoming better people. And when I look back at my life, this is something that was trying to teach itself to me from the time I was a very young child, And when we were kids, I don't feel like we had a lot of situations when we were freaking out or so worried about our circumstances, more it was just we knew what we had to do and we didn't always know how we were going to do it, but we knew we would.
You took a big step at 15. Chris went to his guidance counselor when he was in high school. Our dad had gotten arrested again, and we were living in a abandoned apartment at the time.
We were squatting. We'd moved out of that place a couple months previous, and we had nowhere to go, so
we broke back into the apartment, and we're living in it.
Yep, and it was a bad situation. His girlfriend was there doing some not very honest things to try to make money, and it was not a place that any child should have to live.
Not at all. And at that point, Chris looked at myself and our younger brother, and he said, this isn't any life for us. So at the age of 12 for me, 15 for you, and John was 9, we entered into the foster care system fully and forever.
Permanently at that point.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Most definitely.
Took accountability at 15.
Not even for our own actions, for the actions of others at that point, but, that's where we began to learn that life wasn't going to give us anything.
No.
We were going to have to make our own decisions, and I think learning that lesson at a young age, or at least beginning to, really set the stage for us,
Yeah, for sure. I know that it took years for me to realize, what our childhood actually was, and, what it's actually done to, how I've learned throughout life. I didn't ever feel like I was on the same track as most of my peers. While most people, not most, but some, were worrying about getting projects done and homework, I'm like, what am I going to eat tonight?
Yeah.
Do we have any soap? Can I take a bath?
Yeah, is the water going to be on?
Yeah.
Where are we going to live sometimes?
Yeah.
So it was definitely nice to not have to worry about that stuff anymore, but the system brings on full challenges of its own.
BRB.
You go turn some lights on. Yeah, that's all you got to do is move a little bit.
Hey. So at that point, we went through so many other homes, and really in our final home is where lessons started to sink in, but also the trauma started showing.
It started catching up with us.
So we had to unlearn a lot.
And for years, I blocked a lot of that trauma out. That's why it took me, honestly, into my late 20s.
Yes.
My mid-20s for sure, to start becoming a real grown adult, not just a kid with an age. Big believer that age does not determine,
It doesn't.
Not a thing, man. Maturity isn't its own thing, and it's learned. It's learned through hard work and lessons.
I know that's one thing. One more comment on the foster care thing.
Yeah.
The cutoff age for college is 26. I'm 26. I started therapy at 25. I started my journey at 21. All those years, I couldn't go to school because I had so much work to do on myself. I had no clue who I was, where I was going. PTSD, anxiety showed up, depression showed up. I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to be somebody, in society? How am I supposed to start bettering myself if I can't even figure out anything about me?
It's not easy. That's the hardest self-work, but once you accomplish some stuff like that, you begin with your childhood traumas, and when you work through it and you understand them, you learn the lessons that come from them, that's when you really, things start to flow a lot easier with learning lessons and understanding yourself, and just you have a full-on self-reckoning, and that's when you're more able to start becoming the person that you're going to be. It's once you process those emotions, and it's hard and it sucks allowing yourself to feel things that you've
it's a lot of
kept
introspection.
inside. Yeah.
That's really how you start fighting some of the trauma that you've been through, because at that point your trauma is your own. Other people may have inflicted it, but it's your job, it's your duty to figure out who am I going to be? How am I going to fix me?
And it'll never stop causing damage until you face it, until you do something about it, until you're accountable for it.
It's uncomfortable.
Extremely.
Completely, because you're sitting there and you're like letting yourself really feel the depth of whatever is going on. But the more that you do that, the more that you figure out how you feel about it now. That's something in trauma therapy that was really interesting to me. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Inside Out, but there's the core memories that these little characters have for this little girl. And as she gets older, the core memories start changing. And that's really what PTSD and figuring out how to maneuver it has been for me. I changed one of my core memories because I talked myself through. Damn it. Ah! I talked myself through a PTSD attack in 5 days. We gotta stop.
We don't stop.
Well, that was a full moment right there.
So you talked yourself through a PTSD attack.
I did. And accountability. It's my job to do that. And it felt great. And that was a huge turning point in my life. Because I finally was like, I can do this. I'm building self-confidence and I'm trusting myself throughout life.
Try to fix these things yourself, because nobody's going to do it for you. And other people might feel the pain from your pain for a short period of time. That's where you get so many fixers. I've been told my whole life I'm a fixer. I always get myself involved with people with problems, and I see the best in them, but honestly nobody can fix anybody but themselves. They have to have the want and the will to do it.
You have to be ready and willing.
Yeah, and you can help somebody plenty easily if they're willing to make that change, if they want to, if they're in that place. But it's not easy, but nobody ever got anywhere in life just taking the easy ways, man. People I know that grew up in fortunate situations had a lot to learn about being an adult. It's a struggle. Anybody's upbringing is a struggle, because unless you really learn that self-love and you have that basic understanding on how to get past the situations you've been in and a realistic aspect on the world, you're gonna have problems. And it doesn't matter where you came from, what your upbringing was. These are things everybody in life has to face.
And as you said, sometimes you're gonna hurt people that you love, and that's, I think, the hardest part for me, is learning means, yes, I'm gonna do that sometimes. And I would beat myself up for a long while, but at this point, you can't do that. You realize the people in your life who do have unconditional love for you, and they're gonna be there. And it's important to tell them, hey, I'm sorry. I really messed that one up, but I'm learning from this. And take your time with it. Patience. Oh my gosh, patience with yourself.
You cannot rush your healing. It sucks. You're going to get tired of it, but once you get started, it's not all that bad.
No.
Seeing yourself make progress, especially internal progress, is one of the most satisfying experiences that I've ever had, but it is terrible tearing into it.
It is nice, though, like I said, about the core memories. Once you learn a lesson, you can apply that next time. And I don't know.
Just less repeating of those destructive tendencies, Makes things a lot better. Makes things a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. Well.
And we're going to end scene on that one.
Yep.
Much love and appreciation to all of you. thanks for bearing with us. We are actively working on some equipment,
Yeah, we
which
are.
is going to make
It's on
things
the
leaps
way.
and bounds better because we do enjoy doing this. If nobody watched it, I think we would still enjoy doing this. This has
Probably.
been fantastic.
I just love talking to you.
Yeah, we had good conversations. A lot of good conversations. So that's going to be something that's in the works, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. Honestly, I mean, I feel better anyways, just being able to rant a little bit and talk about these things. And
Yep.
thank you so much for all of you that have come forward and talked to us about all this in person, because we've had a lot of good conversations from it, you know? More
Absolutely.
conversations, more people, more experiences, and that's what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Much love to you guys.
much love and respect, and thank you all for watching.
Bye.